All right, everyone. So I'm just going to get straight into this. It is my personal opinion, and you're open to disagree about this. Actually, that's why this is a discussion topic. I want to talk about Bellator and their president Scott Coker and their seeming protection of their flyweight women's champion Ilima Lei MacFarlane. It just seems like they are protecting her from what should be the rightful number one contender in the division, Juliana Velasquez. And I'm going to read to you from this from this article from MMA Junkie that was published the Sunday, the day after McFarlane's defense against Kate Jackson. And Coker even says that Velasquez might not be next for McFarlane. So let's get right into this. And sorry for the glare, it's just from the screen here. Uh, Honolulu. And this article is by Mike Bond and Matt Erickson at MMAJunkie.com. You can go find it. Honolulu. Despite 5 consecutive wins in the Bellator flyweight division, Juliana Velasquez might not be the next to challenge Ilima Lei MacFarlane for the title after Bellator 236. According to Bellator president Scott Coker, the next contender for MacFarlane, 11-0 MMA, 10-0 Bellator MMA, is contingent on whether the organization opts to move forward with plans of a flyweight Grand Prix in 2020. MacFarlane defended her title against Kate Jackson by unanimous decision in Saturday's headliner in Hawaii, a result which came just minutes after Velasquez, 10-0 MMA, 5-0 Bellator MMA, battered Bruna Ellen for 3 rounds. MacFarlane said post-fight the Brazilian should 100% be her next challenger, but Coker wasn't convinced. Honestly, Juliana Velasquez is definitely somebody that has some potential, Coker told reporters, including MMA Junkie post-fight at Bellator 236. To me, if she would have come in there and had a knockout or a stoppage or went in there and dominated, she had a dominant performance, but when you're in fights like that, you should finish too. It's kind of like, we'll see. Coker said he's not trying to take away from Velasquez's talents. However, he said he saw more out of Alejandra Lara the night prior at Bellator 235. Lara, who missed weight for her bout with Vita Ortega, got a bloody unanimous decision win. Velasquez is a killer, Coke said. She's a great fighter and she's going to earn her shot here eventually, or maybe next. We'll see. But the thing that I liked about Lara was, it was something that Vita said to me, she said. She said, this girl got better. She surprised me. I knew she was going to try to take me down and grapple with me, and she didn't, and started trading with me and surprised me and caught me off guard. That's a fighter that is getting better and better. That's another amazing 125-pound fighter we could put in this event if we do it. Ultimately, the next move for MacFarlane is going to come down to Bellator's big picture plans for 2020. If an 8 or 16 fighter tournament comes to fruition, history indicates the promotion would try to sprinkle the best fighters in the various corners of the bracket. Coker said no firm plans are in place as of yet, but he thinks there's some real intrigue with a Grand Prix at flyweight. We'll go back to the drawing board, and we're not committing to the tournament yet, Coker said. It's looking a little more attractive to me every time I speak to my team and think about it myself, because we have so many potentials in this weight class. I think it would be a very interesting tournament, and that could change the entire landscape of who fights who. It's nice to see a division that has so much depth like our 125 female division. Okay, I'm sorry. To me, that's just a load of crap coming from Scott Coker. It's just a bunch of PR bullshit. That's all there is to it, okay? All right, so let's talk about some topics he brought up here in this article. Okay, first of all, how has Velasquez not earned a title shot? She's 10-0. She's undefeated. She's 5-0 in Bellator. The only fighter in Bellator in that division with a better record is Ilima Lei MacFarlane, the champion. So she's 1 win away from having the same record as the champion. Granted, she has less fights in Bellator, but yeah, MacFarlane has all but 1 fight of her pro career in Bellator. They groomed her from the beginning. Okay. He mentioned how Velasquez didn't finish. Oh, she didn't finish? Yeah, Scott, you know who else didn't get a finish this weekend? Ilima Lei MacFarlane, the champ, who had 5 rounds to get a finish, And she didn't. She really didn't even try to go for a finish until the 4th and 5th rounds. And in the 5th round, she didn't wait until the last 20 seconds to try to hard for a finish. So how are you going to talk about Velasquez not finishing when your own champion really didn't try that hard to finish this past weekend? Okay. Next up, MacFarlane herself said that Velasquez has 100% earned it. So if even the champion believes that Velasquez has earned her shot, how can you deny your own champion? All right. Then he mentioned about Alejandra Lara. Hey, I like Alejandra Lara, but she already had her shot at the belt, okay? She lost her title shot. Then she lost her very next fight. To who? Juliana Velasquez. Now she's got 2 wins in a row, but the first fight was not even in the division. It was at bantamweight. And it was a straight-up tune-up fight against a fighter that had a losing record. Okay? And now she got a fight against another fighter that just lost her title fight in Vita Ortega. I mean, look, Lara looked great this weekend, but she hasn't earned a shot at the title yet, you know? Not when you lose your title shot and then lose the very next fight. You need at least, I would say, at least 3 wins. So Lara's going to need another win. Okay? And let's be real. He's just protecting MacFarlane from Velasquez. MacFarlane is like their golden child in that division. She's a pretty girl in what has always been Bellator's pretty girl division. Okay? From the beginning, they stacked that division with pretty girls. Okay? Shoot. Let me bring up the division. Bruna Ellen, pretty girl. Heather Hardy, pretty girl and a boxing crossover. Let's go all the way back to some of the initial signings. Alejandra Lara, very attractive. Who else? Gotta go down. Lena Ovchinnikova, one of the very first signings for that division. One of the pretty girls. And a striker, so she's striking friendly. Who else? She's not even on there. She must not be with them anymore. I'm trying to think. Anastasia Yankova was one of their first signings. Again, another attractive striker. So, yes, it has always been a pretty girl division, and they have a pretty girl champ. They're not trying to lose that. And then as far as a Grand Prix goes, nobody's asking for that. Okay? Nobody is asking for Bellator to do another Grand Prix. I go onto social media, I go onto web forums, and all I see are people talking about how long Bellator drags these Grand Prix out. They drag them out needlessly long. Okay? They had one fight from the second round of the Featherweight Grand Prix. Featherweight? Yeah, Featherweight Grand Prix. The next 3 semifinal matches or quarterfinal matches are spread out across 3 more events. So that's 4 events to have 4 fights, a single round of a tournament that they could easily have in one night. The only reason they're doing these Grand Prix at all is to satisfy their DAZN deal. And frankly, as a fan, we don't care about that. We don't want to see long, dragged out tournaments. Especially because they always get seeded in a certain way that none of the good fights happen until way later on. And when you do that, that carries the risk of the good fights not happening. Because it's MMA and anything can happen. And you watch enough Grand Prix tournaments, you realize that if the fights you want to see don't happen early, there's a very high risk they don't happen at all. So no one wants to see another Grand Prix tournament. At least, especially not in a division where you really don't have the depth for it. I mean, let's see who they can build this with. Let's say they announce this Grand Prix tomorrow. So you have the champ MacFarlane. You have Vita Ortega. That's 2. Ortega's coming off a loss. You have Liz Carmouche. I'm not even going to touch that one. That's 3. And no one even wants to watch Liz Carmouche fight because she goes to decision all the time. Bruna Ellen, who's coming off a loss and is now like 5-3, 5-4. So there's 4. You have Jackson, who's coming off a loss. Lara. Then you have Velasquez. Maybe Williams. So let's see. Williams, Velasquez, MacFarlane, Lara, Jackson, Ellen, Carmouche, Ortega. Okay, you can maybe do a decent 8-fighter women's tournament right there. And you can substitute one of them for Keelholtz, who's getting better and would be pretty exciting. Okay, you can maybe do a halfway decent 8-women tournament. You try to do a 16 like they've been doing with these other ones, it's not going to happen because then you would definitely have to add fighters like, okay, Letourneau, who hasn't fought in over a year. Loretta, who's only 1-1. Ovchinnikova, who, let's be honest here, finds ways to lose. I mean, she has a habit of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Beck Rawlings, has a losing record right now. They're listing Marina Makhnakina, but she's a bantamweight. And that's really it. They still have Colleen Schneider listed, but she's done with MMA. She's pursuing a degree now. She hasn't fought since she blew her knee. Yeah, you can't even do a 16-fighter Grand Prix. So no one really wants to see that. Really, this is all about them just wanting to protect their champion, their chosen champion, from the rightful number 1 contender. That's really all this comes down to. Scott! Listen to me, Scott. Stop protecting MacFarlane. She's a big girl. She's a good fighter. She might not be elite, but we don't know. But guess what? Juliana Velasquez is a good fighter too. And she's more than earned her title shot. To deny her a title shot is just, it's garbage. Like, this is kind of crap. This is something you would expect from, like, I don't know, a shady Asian promotion. Or a shady Russian promotion. Or some shady promotion, period. Not the so-called second best promotion in the world. So Bellator, stop protecting MacFarlane. Stop trying to prevent a great fight from happening. It is the best fight to make in the division, and to deny it and to deny this fight from happening is garbage. I mean, it's just garbage. If this fight doesn't get made, I'm going to crap all over Bellator. I don't normally try to push narratives. I don't try to push agendas on this channel. But this is a fight that needs to be made. And if this fight doesn't get made, I'm going to be talking about it a lot more often. Anyway, that's really all I have to say on this subject. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Likes are always appreciated. And if you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA now, the best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. And we'll see you next time.